Hey, Friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the Friendoville channel, and it's time for another episode of Untitled Steve News Show. It's just stuff that I find interesting, and since you're following me, you might find it interesting too. Lead story, surprise, surprise, shock to absolutely nobody, WWE 2K21 seems to have been canceled. Of course, there's no official confirmation of this. Maybe they'd come out and say, hey, we're not going to do it this year. Anyways, let's just get into this. So there was a video that was released early this past week by a former game developer, writer, director guy for some past WWE games, some of the SmackDown versus Raw versus SmackDown games. A fella named Justin Leeper. He put out a 7-minute video on YouTube where he basically says he heard from a credible source that WWE 2K21 has been canceled. It's not going to come out. We had sort of covered this as kind of non-news in one of our Patreon exclusive, YouTube channel member exclusive videos over at Going in Raw, in one of our bonus videos, because the only people who see our gaming videos now are our paying Friendo Club members, people on Patreon or YouTube channel members, because like we don't really release it on the main channel anymore. That stuff didn't really do too well for us, but we recognized that there was still kind of an audience for it. So we figured, hey, we'll put it out as Patreon exclusive stuff. And so we sort of talked about it there casually. But the video sort of mentions that he had heard, this Justin Leeper guy had heard as early as December that the prospect of doing WWE 2K21 to 2K games is kind of a 50-50 prospect. I guess they were sort of developing it, but understanding that it might not happen. In January, he said that the game was on and was still in development. And as he put it, it was medium speed ahead. So they were working on it, but maybe without a sense of real urgency. Apparently, he sort of implies that maybe perhaps due to the coronavirus stuff, that's off the table now. He doesn't really say when he heard this latest info, just that it was pretty recent, and it should have been later in the game's development cycle that he basically received word, hey, this isn't happening. But he also says that this year, 2K games will be releasing through some other development process, a different kind of WWE game. What exactly that is, we don't know. Maybe it's like a GM mode specific type game, maybe for mobile. I don't know. This is just me purely speculating. Xavier Woods was talking about possibly putting out his own, in some form or fashion, GM mode game. And he said that was like months ago, where he says, yeah, that's not going to happen. Sorry, guys, for getting your hopes up. So maybe, this is speculation, maybe 2K was like, no, we're working on our own thing for that with the WWE license. So you're not going to be involved in that on the development side, Xavier Woods. That's just me throwing stuff out there as a possibility. So yeah. What do you guys think about that? This is not shocking at all. That last game was a massive turd. Apparently, if 2K21 was going to come out, it would have been basically like a reskin of 2K20. I'm assuming, hopefully, with some improvements to its absolutely terrible gameplay, because, man, that game sucks. It's really bad. So this isn't surprising at all. They need to take time, regroup. Hopefully people are going to take their time with it and put out a product, maybe a 2K22, or just, completely reboot the franchise, the sort of the main game franchise, the simulation stuff. So yeah, that's interesting stuff. Moving on. More video game news. Look at me talking about video games like this is 2011 again. Grand Theft Auto 6. Y'all know I love Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. I think it's like the greatest thing ever. So I'm eagerly anticipating any Grand Theft Auto news. Apparently, it's still in its very early stages. Kotaku published a report about Rockstar Games this past Wednesday about changes in company culture after the controversy over staff working 100-hour work weeks for Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar has been putting certain guidelines in place to avoid massive amounts of overtime, massive amounts of crunch, as they say it. According to the report, the cool thing is these new rules are working and employees are happier. Morale is up. That's great. But in the last paragraph, they mentioned this. There was a line about Grand Theft Auto 6, and they said that the game is still in early stages of development and that the initial release of the game is going to be moderately sized. I don't know exactly what that means because we're talking about Grand Theft Auto here, and maybe that means a less ambitious story mode and focusing more, like maybe it'll be a new map, a giant new map, but it'll be more like the online experience as opposed to like a fully done story mode, like an 8 to 20 hour story mode. I don't know. I would think that a moderately sized game for Rockstar is still going to be a pretty big game, but I guess we'll find out. But apparently we're not going to find out anytime soon because it's still, if this Kotaku article is to be believed, it's still in the early stages of the game. This is a bummer, of course, but I'm still loving Grand Theft Auto Online. Of course, I've been playing that during the Patreon bonus episode stuff. It's a lot of fun. I just need to figure out now how to get my Undertaker mod to work for my PC copy of Grand Theft Auto 5. I downloaded it, and it doesn't work. It just crashes the game before it does. The game doesn't even load up. It says there's a problem with the script hook thing. So I gotta do some research because I want to do some Undertaker machinimas. I want to be the dead man in the cemetery of San Andreas. Got some Star Trek news for you guys. You Four Lights fans. Rosario Dawson is trying to angle her way potentially into playing an iconic Star Trek role. Which one? It's the letter of the alphabet. Comes between P and R. Yeah, it's Q. She wants to be Q. So anyways, in an interview with Variety's Variety After Show, whatever that is, I don't know if it's a podcast or a TV show or whatever, the Briar Patch actress, a terrific show. I've only seen like the first 2 episodes, but man, I recorded them all. I want to see the rest of them. Rosario Dawson said that she'd love to play Q in the new lineup of Star Trek shows. She mentions both Discovery and Picard. She really wants to hang out with Jean-Luc Picard. She even said she'd be content to be a background Vulcan. She just wants to be in Star Trek. Of course, she's about to be confirmed to be in that new, or in the Mandalorian season 2, playing one of the Clone Wars characters, which I don't really know much about that stuff. But anyway, she really wants to be in Star Trek 2. I think this would be cool, man. Look, John Delancey, obviously he's still a working actor and he's still like hugely popular. Why not have your cake and eat it too, man? Look, we know there are plenty of Q out there. Corbin Burnson was a Q. How about this? What about this? What if a couple episodes you got John Delancey, right? And then in order to sort of maybe mock the idea that Captain Picard is in a brand new body, which is like an old man body, John Delancey puts himself into the body of a very attractive woman, Rosario Dawson, because my God, number one, she doesn't age. She looks exactly the same as she did like 20 years ago when she was starting out the acting game. And she is absolutely magnificent. I love her to death. I think she's great. I think she'd be a great Q, man. I know a lot of people are out there are like, no, you can't change it all. Goo. Well, screw that, man. Change is good. Moving forward is good. I think if you have some sort of passing of the torch between John Delancey and Rosario Dawson, give us plenty of that Q interaction, John Delancey, Patrick Stewart interaction, but then you move it on. You move it on and you get them. It's like Doctor Who. You got to move on. Put Q in a new body, Rosario Dawson. She can mess with Discovery people. She can mess with Picard. She could be sort of the constant that maybe brings all those universes together. I think that'd be absolutely great. I say if you have somebody the caliber of Rosario Dawson wanting to get up in your franchise, you let her in. You give her carte blanche. Say, hey, you want your own ship? You can have your own ship. You want your own fleet? You want to be a Romulan? You want to be Borg? You want to be Klingon? Whatever you want, you can do it. You want to be Q? I say let her do it. And then my final news story. There's a new Justice League in town, man. And it's being helmed by J.J. Abrams, kinda. So Deadline reported that J.J. Abrams and his Bad Robot production house, they have inked a deal with the new streaming service HBO Max. Got all these goddamn streaming services now I got to choose from. I just got the DC Universe one, man. It's great. So 3 series are being greenlit for Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams overseeing as producer. And one of them is a Justice League series. Kinda. It's not like the real Justice League. It's Justice League Dark, which is sort of, it revolves around the supernatural elements of the DC universe. Characters like Constantine, Zatanna, the magician, Deadman, who's just like a dead guy, and then some other people I really don't know a whole lot about. I'll be honest with you. When I was a kid, I didn't really care much about DC supernatural stuff. It didn't really interest me all that much, so this doesn't really interest me all that much. That being said, I think J.J. Abrams is pretty decent, man. I think he's got a decent track record. Is he like a great filmmaker? No. Is he a bad filmmaker? No. I thought that the Star Wars movies that he did, they're good. They're okay. You know, they weren't too deep. It was a lot of fan service. He's good at the fan service stuff. That's kind of all I want. Capable, competent fan service in my DCU stuff. Hopefully, if this is done well, it'll tie in with the greater DC movie franchise. I really want them to bring Henry Cavill back. I know that there's been talk about Wonder Woman 1984 being kind of a soft reboot of the entire movie franchise. They'll keep Jason Momoa. Who knows about Ezra Miller as Flash now? I had high hopes for that movie, but you can't go around choking out your fans when, you know, they just want your autograph and they want you to see. There's probably a bigger story there with Ezra Miller choking out fans and throwing them to the ground, but it doesn't look good for him. That video is pretty damning. So I'm not sure how long he's going to be Flash. So DC, they got all sorts of problems. Bring back Henry Cavill as Superman, though, man. I think he was great. He said that he wants to do it. There's more stuff that he wants to do with that. You got Pattinson now as Batman. I don't know how to manage that one. How there's a Pattinson Batman, but then there's like Affleck is still out there. You got to do some crazy universe bending stuff. I don't know. It's not my problem. I'm not writing this shit. But I have faith that J.J. Abrams could probably do something cool if you sort of handed over the reins to him, or even Matt Reeves, the guy doing the Batman. I don't know. It's a mess. They really fucked up with that whole Justice League movie and the Batman versus Superman movie, going that route. Anyways, that's it, man. That's it for let me know, what news do you want me to cover? What are you interested in? I'm not going to promise that I'm going to cover it, but you never know. You never know. Put it in the comments below, and then go to my shop, mfshophere.com, I think is the name of the store. I got some comic books. These are my comic books. I did these. Remember Big Jeff from the Four Lights? That I need to start doing more of those. This book, Fragile Prophet, I drew it. He wrote it. It's a collaboration between the original Four Lights guys. And then this was one I did all on my own. It's called Video, but psych, it's a comic book right here. Check it out. It's weird stuff. It's a product from my 20s. This is where my head was at in my 20s. I was going to some weird spaces. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit that like button. I need you guys to hit that like button. I'm trying to be a proper YouTuber now, man. Like a second YouTuber, because I got the Going in Raw thing, but this is my YouTuber thing. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.